He wants a blog about this. Yeah, we haven't done anything yet. Yeah, I've recorded it. Okay. So can you hear me, ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now we have two characters, yeah? We have Tammy Trivial and Ellie Engaged. So two very different characters. Yeah?
What? Ellie and the first one, Tammy.
Yeah? So we have Tammy, very lazy. And then we have Ellie, she's very engaged, she's full of energy, she's doing things. Yeah? So can you get into pairs and decide one of you is Tammy Trivial and the other one is Ellie Engaged?
So you work in pairs. Now this one is Ellie and this one is Tammy, okay? And you work together. What are they supposed to do?
Okay, so first, are they in pairs?
Now in pairs, يلا in pairs.
Okay, are you in pairs?
Yes, yes.
Now are you in pairs, all of you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, can you see the screen? Okay, so now imagine you're in one location scene. Can you see that? So a doctor's waiting room, or an office, or a queue, or a dentist, or even a border check.
Oh, anything.
And you are waiting with there's two of you, so that you're both waiting. You don't know each other.
Both waiting. Okay.
Okay, you've never met each other before. And can you imagine, just choose one of those scenes. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. Can you imagine what you might say to each other?
Now you check one of these locations.
Maybe I'm going to hand test. That's
We.
I
think it's something in the airport. Amy, what do you mean by border check?
I just meant, let's not worry about that. Take it out. Forget it. Amal.
Yeah.
It should be somewhere very boring, not interesting at all. The place is very boring, and it's one place, and it's somewhere that they can't move from. They're stuck.
All right. So,
but the two characters are very,
yeah, you pick one of these places, and you are waiting, and it's so boring. Okay, not necessarily one of these. You can just pick something else if you want. You can pick something else. Okay. So you are waiting, and you feel very bored. What kind of conversation you can? Make together? What kind of things you can talk about? You are very bored. Think. Yalla, in pairs. In pairs, try to create a conversation. Okay? When I start to do
أنا في الطبيعة.
Remember that you didn't know each other. Yes.
Amal? Can you see the screen? Oh, I've lost. Oh.
We're back.
Yeah, we lost you for a second there. Okay. How are you getting on? A few more minutes?
Sorry? Amy? Amy, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you see my screen, my slide?
Yeah, we can see the slide, yes.
Okay.
No.
Ah. Have you got a scene?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
we are ready. We are the first.
Are the others not ready?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Your teacher's very enthusiastic. Amal is very enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Are we? Okay. I'm going to stop recording. Okay, I'm recording.
Something you want to improve. Okay,
I can already tell which is which. It's really good.
I think it's with Sammy and with Ellen.
Your physicality is really good.
Which means you are very good. Okay, yes. Start.
Come on, exercise. I don't want. Why? Because I'm so tired and sleepy. Oh. I want to eat.
I want to eat.
I want to eat hamburger, pizza.
Brilliant. Is that the end? Brilliant.
I'd like to say something to them.
Okay, let's have some comments.
They know very well.
Excellent. Come here.
They acting.
ED. They act or acted. Does it not act?
Hi.
Yeah, hello.
My
Have
name's.
you got a comment? Yeah.
They act very well.
Why?
No.
Sorry. Come back. Sorry. I don't mean why. I mean, why do you think? What is it? What did they do that made you think they acted well?
What made you think they are very good? Why?
هو يعني لما مش أي حد بيمثل ضخم هم
Try to say in English. They had what? Try.
They convincing.
They were very convincing. And how did they do that?
Language body.
Excellent. Body language, not
Body language. Good body language.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you for your comment. That was really good critical thinking already.
You're welcome.
Thanks. So now two other students would like to
We're waiting for another scene. Yeah. Hello. Do you have to sit down?
Yes.
No, thank you.
That's brilliant.
Hey,
Oh, no sound. I can't hear. Okay, so this is a typical situation. I'm doing a little sort of recorded block here. This is a typical situation on the Hands Up project. We've just been doing some interesting stuff. I don't know if you could see from the video, but we had two scenes. They were supposed to create two characters. Sorry, they were supposed to create a character, characters called Tammy Trivial and Ellie Engaged, because we're working on critical thinking. We did some characterization where they walked around the whole room together, physicalizing both characters, and then they got into pairs and chose a character each. So they had Ellie Engaged and Tammy Trivial both in the same scene, and then they had to choose a one location scene to work on. And the first one was they were in some kind of exercise place, a gym, I think. And one girl was really trying to get the other one to do some exercise, and the other one just said, all I want to do is eat hamburgers, which was quite sweet. And then they were quite good, but it sort of symbolized it in a very simple way. But the next scene was a little bit more sophisticated. They were sitting down, I think they were in a waiting room, and one was reading and being very sort of serious and intense and engaged in her reading, and the other one was smoking a cigarette, drinking from a bottle and offering her chocolate, and generally being annoying and trying to distract her. And I think they were trying to show what I was interested in, and why I asked them to do the scenes, is how those two different characters could react to the same situation. So they're both in the same situation, but they have very different response. The Tammy Trivial character being much more lazy, doesn't really care, doesn't ask questions, not really bothered, just very unengaged. And the other one, Ellie Engaged, is very experimental, ready to take risks, ready to engage in the world around her. And the only reason I've done that is just to start us off on the road of thinking about what critical thinking actually is, because I'm not sure that these girls are familiar with all the different elements of critical thinking in terms of, hypothesis, empathy, analysis, communication, creative, open-mindedness, problem solving, etc. All the different elements of critical thinking that could come in. So we're going to work through them, but this is just an introduction to get them thinking about the idea of it. So when they were actually performing it, I was asking I got the rest of the group to think very carefully about what they could say. Now, often when you do improvisations or little scenes in drama projects, you ask the audience to watch and possibly clap. But I want to push it a bit further and get them to really explicitly comment on each other's scenes. And one girl in the first scene came to the screen and said that she thought that they were very convincing, but I was not happy with just her saying that. I wanted her to explain what it is that the actors did to make them convincing, which I know is kind of obvious, but to actually make them think that is what they need to do if they want to be proper critical thinkers. And I don't know that they do want to be critical thinkers, but the teacher has asked me to work on critical thinking, which I imagine is part of their exams and so on. However, in the Hands Up project so far, I'm sure you will be aware that there's a lot of critical thinking going on already. They're very, very good at questioning the world around them and asking very sensible questions and problem solving and so on. So I think this is just like continuation and perhaps a more explicit analysis of what it is they already started doing, maybe just actually analysing what it is they're actually doing, which in itself obviously is a critical thinking exercise. So yeah, I asked her, the girl who was commenting, what it is that she found convincing, and she eventually got to body language, that she thought their body language was very clear. But it took her 2 or 3 sort of comments to get to that, and I'm not sure whether that's because she wasn't engaged enough to work out what it was that, whether she's not used to looking at acting or looking at anything and asking herself, why is it that they are doing what they're doing. Not why is it they're doing what they're doing, but why is it that they are convincing, or why is it that this is happening? I don't know whether she was coming to the screen and saying she found it convincing because that was easy for her to say in English, and that had she been able to express herself more in Arabic, maybe she would have made more in-depth comments, or whether it's just that teenagers are not as explicitly experienced in engaging in these kinds of comments and giving feedback to each other. I mean, I think anybody would agree that any kind of creative exercise, whether it's writing or acting or anything else, making critical analysis of what's being done is hard and takes practice. So that's what we plan to do. So I'm gonna typical situation. I had I think the internet's gone down. It's now 10 o'clock. The session's supposed to finish at 10 and I've lost them. So the second scene, which looked like it was going to be very good, has stopped halfway through, which is a real shame. So we're going to have to leave it there. But I shall get in touch with Amal and find out what's what. But I suspect that we'll be seeing the rest of the scenes next week. And the plan is to work through, eventually characterize all the different kinds of critical thinkings, if you see what I mean. So for example, we'll have a character called logic, and we'll have a character called analysis, and we'll have a character called communicate, and so on, and then develop the project from there. But watch this space. Okay, bye.